This is Media Philosophy, exploring the deeper side of Team Fortress 2, my favorite video game of all time, hands down. I've been playing Team Fortress 2 for, God, I want to say at least 14, 13 years or so. I was obsessed with this game in high school, and for so many reasons. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that I've got like 1,300 hours in Team Fortress, but I am proud to say over 1,000 of those hours are on the Spy alone, because he is just so gratifying to play. But Team Fortress 2 is just the most fantastic game ever created, and I would tell anybody watching this, it is the only game that you need. You can basically delete your entire Steam library, throw out all your games, destroy your consoles, because all you need is Team Fortress 2, and then you'll be set. I will go on record, not as a doctor, to say that Team Fortress can cure depression. I'm going to go on record and say that, okay? So go and try it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because again, it has just so many positive aspects, but probably the thing that really sucked me in when I was a teenager was the art style. And this was a time, I want to say Team Fortress probably came out, I don't know, around 2010, 2011. I'm probably off by a few years, 2007, who knows, it's been out for a while. But regardless, it came out during a time when it seemed like so many game companies and studios, except Nintendo, were focusing on graphics. The orange box with Team Fortress came out around like the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era. And this was a time when people just constantly complained about how dull a lot of these games looked, how all games had this same yellow, gross, muddy filter applied to it. But then comes Team Fortress that instead of trying to create some photorealistic experience, decides to go in the complete other way and embraces some stylistic, toony look. And it has paid off dividends. Because when you make a game stylistic, it doesn't matter how old it gets, it's always going to retain that fun stylistic look. Which is a big reason why people like things like the Wind Waker nowadays, or so many other stylistic, bright games that maybe didn't completely utilize modern graphics. Again, it's probably one of the reasons why I love sprite graphics so much, is it forces you, due to the limitations of sprite graphics, it forces the artist to make very concise choices, and it pays off when done correctly. And with Team Fortress 2, everywhere you look, you just see amazing design choices, from gameplay to map design to art style. It just screams contrast, it screams variation, everything just has so much character to it. So I guess maybe we should just start by going down the line of the different mercenaries in Team Fortress and just appreciate them for a minute. And let's start with the heavy. I would say is almost the mascot of Team Fortress. I would say, though, for players, he typically doesn't get enough love. People say he's a little bit boring to play as. All you do is basically rev up your minigun, point, and spray. Because you're so slow, you're so vulnerable. But like any team game, that any team party, I don't know exactly, team class-based shooter, the heavy tank is such a vital role in these games. Whenever there is a team that is just struggling, and if you notice that there's no heavy on your side, if you switch over to that, you could really feel a momentum shift. Just that 300 HP pool, plus having a medic combo on there, just makes him a deadly combo. And again, he just looks like he can take a beating. I mean, just his entire physique, while his hitbox might be a little ridiculous, it definitely sells that this is a bad mother who can take people down with a single punch. I mean, how cool is it that all the mercenaries have their own melee weapons, and the heavies is just his fists? And we're not even going to go into all the awesome updates. I don't know if I'll have time to go into the updates. We'll see, because I can just gush forever about each one of these characters. So that's a quick thing we'll say about the heavy. what is next on the defense? I want to say that we have the Demo Man on defense. I'm trying to think who like the third technical defense person is before is that Pyro? It's Engineer. Anyways, but yeah, we'll talk about the Demo Man, who by far has the greatest taunt in the game. His little kaboom, where he shows a little smiley face on his crotch, is so hilarious. But again, just what a fun character. The one-eyed Black Scotsman. Hilarious concept. And the voice acting for his lines are top-notch. I mean, the voice actors in all Valve games are incredibly professional, incredibly talented. But the Team Fortress folks, I don't know. I wonder if they anticipated how much work they would come back to do with this game. Because it's always fun to see, think about where the game started to where it is now. But yeah, the Demo Man... he's probably one of my favorite ones, and just how gratifying it is just to pop people with sticky bombs, and when you hit that grenade launcher perfectly. I play on the Steam Deck exclusively due to having a Mac for video making purposes, so I'm a little sad I don't feel like I can play as the Demo Man as successfully on the Steam Deck. I guess you can still use the sticky launcher pretty successfully, but again, just popping people with that grenade launcher is so satisfying. But I don't feel like I can effectively do it. But hey, with sticky spam and other grenade spam, I can still rack up some kills with the Demo Man. And then we have the Engineer. I want to say he's probably my third, maybe most played, or maybe maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes he's a fun, he seems like he'd be fun. The Engineer seems like he'd be a fun noob-friendly class because you just have to set up a nest and hang out. But there is a lot of nuance to a good Engineer, and that's just in terms of just knowing where to place it and then just having the patience to hang around. And that's what at least I don't have, is the patience to hang around, especially on defense. I guess I can do it a little bit in offense because you are always trying to, move your sentry guns up or whatnot. Actually, my teammates get pretty upset with me sometimes because I might be a little bit too aggressive of a offense Engie, but whatever. You gotta play the game how you want to. And I'm always very thankful for the Engies on the team because it is such a linchpin class. But if not done properly, it could be almost useless. And I always hate it and think it's funny when a whole bunch of people go Engineer at once, thinking it's going to be some super amazing defense, and it just falls apart. Because there are a lot of vulnerabilities with the sentry. 1-2 sentries sprinkled in can be an amazing defense point. And how good is Valve at just creating these sentries and whatnot? I mean, they are such a threat. They are not to be trifled with, and it's just cool that they don't seem overpowered, underpowered. They just seem just right between having to go from level 1, 2, 3, the mini sentries. And does it feel bad when you are just playing a game against a team and for whatever reason your team just fails to break the sentry line? So many times on Dust Bowl round 2, the second point, has rounds been lost, just not being able to break that point. But again, it's the team's fault because there are super easy counters to the sentries, from an Uber demo to an Uber, basically an Uber to anything, a skillful spy. So I guess let's just move on real quick to the offense class coming out. We got the Scout. I think that actually is my second most played Scout because the Scout is so much fun to just run around and just outrun everybody. And I want to say he's at 120, 125, the speed. It's nothing outrageous. I don't think it's 125. But again, in terms of just feel, you can just feel the slenderness of this boy from Boston just outrunning him. The scattergun just seems to fit his personality so well. And again, that's what I'm talking about just from every level, is that it just seems like the creators of Team Fortress, Valve, and the team just wanted perfection on every single level. And it seemed like, at least back when Valve was mainly a game developing studio and not a money printer through Steam. This is what their bread and butter was just creating top level games. I don't think they're known for that anymore, unfortunately, but Team Fortress is just a reminder of how carefully Valve used to plan their games and how thoroughly they were able to execute those plans. Because again, just the scout engineer, I didn't even talk about the engineer's design, but their backstories, they're all so unique and colorful. God, but yeah, the scout, the fact that they can even double jump, the fact that they give each one of these classes just some reason to play with them. The double jump is gratifying. It gets you into sneaky places. It can allow you to be get some amazing back caps, and the fact that the scout even counts as 2 people during cart pushes or during capture point missions is again just a great design choice that really makes the scout have a lot more oomph when he only has 125 HP when he's tied for the least, but is supposed to be in the front lines the most, opposed to, the spy, sniper, engineer, whatever. So yeah, great character. I guess we can just repeat me saying great character for the rest of this video. Just fast forward it. It's just gonna say great character, great character, great character. So then anyways, let's go to the pyro. Some people find the pyro to be obnoxious. It's just W plus M1, but again, it is a vital role because the pyro causes so much chaos on the battlefield. I mean, there has been times when a single pyro has been able to wipe out a point full of, 3, 4, 5 enemy players, whether he was just able to get the jump on them, lucky crits, everyone loves crits, the back burner, whatever. But regardless, with that steady stream of damage plus the afterburn effect, the pyro can just be one of those chaos agents. Now, yes, is it probably one of the more noob-friendly classes to play? Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. If anything, it's great that there is a place for people who might not be as experienced with first-person shooters, who might be younger, have a place to kind of start playing. So I don't think it's a bad thing that the pyro does have a low barrier of entry. And I wouldn't say the skill ceiling is incredibly high. I mean, all you have to do is time your projectile hits, understand when to switch to your ranged weapon, and know when it's appropriate to use your melees. And now with the updates, the pyro does actually have some pretty useful melee weapons. Again, don't want to get too into the updates because there's just so much to talk about with Team Fortress that there could be a whole other video just gushing about the updates. But the fact that the pyro can remove sappers with, I think, the homewrecker is what it's called, is great because there's always been this fun triad relationship between spies, engineers, and pyros. This really funny like cat and mouse, Tom and Jerry sort of relationship I've always pictured between the three. And the fact that now the pyro has this tool to be even more useful in the engineer nest relationship, I just think is hilarious. And the pyro in general is just so satisfying to play. And that's what, again, it comes down to, is when you're in the mood to play whatever character, there's a mercenary there, and sometimes you just want to just run around, just spam WM1, rack up some kills, make some gamers mad, and you're going to have a good time, and you can do that with the pyro. So we talked about, then we have the soldier. Soldier, I would say, is my least played class. I don't find his rockets that fun. I like the direct hit. I guess it's kind of cool. I find that makes it a little bit more interesting, but again, coming from the Steam Deck, anything that requires precision can be really hard to pull off. So if I am gonna play the soldier, it's gonna either be the black box or a standard rocket launcher. But yeah, I just don't really get the appeal of the soldier. Whether I'm facing them on the battlefield or playing them, I just don't feel like they're that much of a threat. I either know how to close the gap with the soldier or retreat so I can not be in the danger zone. I guess what I'm trying to say is with the soldiers 4 rocket ammo limit, with their slower speed, and with the slow speed of most of their weapons, I just can you can either figure out when to engage the soldier, when to disengage the soldier. They can cause a lot of chaos from spamming rockets. But again, I would just say that they're kind of the most generic class in Team Fortress. I mean, for God's sake, they're just in a uniform with an army helmet. Now, again, super fun personality, that overzealous American soldier who I'm pretty sure might not have even joined the military. But regardless, hilarious taunts, hilarious attitude. So his generic theme, his generic costume gets compensated for the fact that he is just so insane of a character, such an insane character. In his taunts, in his Meet the Soldier video, just hilarious every way you slice it. And then we're moving on to the support class, probably some of the most important classes if you know how to use it, minus the medic. Support classes require a lot of skill and knowledge to play effectively, but the medic, you really just need to have your minigun, survive, point, click, and you're gonna be one of the most celebrated, hopeful characters or players on the team. Honestly, if there's ever a time where a team is just getting stomped, if you look at the composition, you can just always notice a lack of a medic. And it's sad that people just either don't respect the medic or whatever. But in Team Fortress, I find the medic is pretty fun, especially because they have the self-healing attribute. And the Blotsager, again, another video about the updates, but I love how Valve was able to turn a medic into a more combat role, and there's nothing more fun than playing a combat medic on some of those countdown control point maps where they try to fight over a certain point and it counts down after that. Like I think it's called like Harvest, I don't know. Either way, it is so much fun to play as a battle medic and just spray syringes everywhere. I have a hard time on the Steam Deck quickly switching from my Blotsager to my minigun, so sometimes I'm a bad battle medic when I'm playing one, but whatever. It's just hard for me to quickly switch. Sometimes I get confused which trigger is I need a hit to go to the minigun. But yeah, just an incredible member of the team, and it's fun that you are able to put yourself into more dangerous situations because of the self-healing. In theory, your teammates should protect you. But yeah, because of its increased speed, it doesn't feel like a chore to play medic, unlike feeling a chore to play medic on other class-based games. And again, I just feel like there's way more appreciation for the medic in Team Fortress than other online games. Because that Uber, if you're ever just stuck at a sentry nest, someone's just gotta bite the bullet, switch to medic, charge up in the spawn, and then just go wreak havoc. Hey, and you can, if you really want to play dirty, just get a flog pyro and just delete the entire server. Next, we have the sniper, which breaks my heart to be on the Steam Deck because there's nothing that makes me look like a worse player than trying to play the sniper. I can only honestly play the sniper on very specific circumstances where basically our team is already going to be winning or the other team is so bad that I want to give them a chance so they don't all just quit out. So I'll play the sniper. But it is just impossible to just aim and fire accurately on the Steam Deck. I just haven't mastered it yet. I know you can use gyroscoping to try to help the aiming, but I just haven't been able to get that ever to successfully. I mean, I get some headshots here and there. They honestly feel very lucky when they do. But I have missed so many stationary heavies just firing at their minigun. It's bad. And it's just sad because I love playing the sniper. I love getting off some clutch headshots. And a good, because if the other team has a good sniper, you're gonna need somebody to counteract that person. And when I was playing on the PC, I won't say I was the best sniper, but I was okay, definitely better than the Steam Deck. So it's just really disappointing that I am not able to play one of the classes and feel like I can contribute. But I'm just happy I can play Team Fortress, since apparently they no longer support it in the Mac, even though it used to be supported for Mac, but I digress. And then finally, before I wrap up this video, let's talk about the Spy. Hands down, my favorite class of all time. I love his attitude, I love his mystique, I love his style, and I love the backstabs. I love going invisible. It's probably a symptom of how much I love playing Metal Gear Solid, so I can kind of reenact being Solid Snake in Team Fortress. Oh my gosh, I just realized that Konami, I don't think they would ever do this, but Konami needs to reach out to Valve so they can add a bandana for the Spy when like Metal Gear Solid Delta comes out or something, because I would love that. But the Spy is just so gratifying to play as, and it is one of those things where I would say that if you have a good Spy, they are going to wreck the team and just climb that leaderboard. There's almost nothing more frustrating than just playing against a really good Spy who really knows how to get off those trick stabs, because they are just going to take out the team one by one. They're going to destroy sentry nest, and it's going to feel like there's nothing that you can do. Your team's going to be raging at your pyro for not spy checking enough, but they're just too slippery. But on the flip side, even an average Spy, if depending on the situation, especially like on defense, unless they're doing a lot, they can be dead weight, especially on defense. On offense, you have a little bit more leeway thanks to the respawn time and other expectations. But yeah, if you're going to be on defense or whatever with a Spy, you're almost better, and you're not getting like 3-4 kills, destroying sentry nest every time you spawn, then you're better off just either being a medic or just being a pyro, just running around N+1ing. But again, you have to just play your own game, so if you have fun, because just getting off a good backstab, that feeling of like stalking a player and just praying that they don't turn around, is so fun. And then that feeling when they do just turn around, it seems like right at the right time, or the wrong time, I guess, and thwart your efforts. So frustrating, but so fun. And thankfully, what makes the Spy the best class to play is, for whatever reason, Team Fortress is not a game that people have microphones on. And it just seems like from when I first started playing this game 13, 15 years ago, whatever, how long it's been now, to now, the people who actually have microphones are a complete minority. I'm one of those people that don't have a microphone. Maybe every once in a while I'll plug in, but it just seems like if you honestly want a incredible competitive edge in Team Fortress, plug in a microphone and just communicate to your team. Hey, there's a Spy behind you, Heavy. Hey, they're coming to do a back cap, this or that. Literally, the smallest bit of communication can be the biggest game changer. I'm on the Steam Deck, so I am completely mute when it comes to talking to my team members. So it's really sad when I see something important going on and I'm not able to address it with the team. But that's all I can talk about basically with Team Fortress for now. There's definitely going to be more videos about Team Fortress, going to be streams and whatnot, because it is the greatest game of all time. If you haven't played it, you can play it for free. I definitely recommend, though, waiting for it to go on sale to buy the actual full version, because it does unlock some perks, such as being able to participate in team chats, as well as being able to get like achievements and unlock other weapons. You can still have fun with the base weapons, especially with a lot of classes. You can have fun with the base weapons as a spy. You can have fun with the base weapons as the demo man, scout, medic, engineer, pyro. Almost all of them you can have a great time with the base weapons. There's some classes where there's just obvious advantages, like the back burner with the pyro. There's just no reason not to use that, I would say. But the point of this video is join Team Fortress. It is the greatest video game in the world. This is media philosophy, exploring the deeper side of entertainment.